The Gamecube is my second favorite video game console of all time, only barely beaten by the Nintendo 64. I have so much nostalgia of this machine, from the controller that just melts in your hands, to the vast library of exclusive games. This system is such a unique piece of gaming history. But even though I didn't have a GameCube myself until I was around 15, my aunt and uncle had one and a ton of great games. And lately, I've been in the GameCube mood. You can tell that if you checked out my channel. So I decided to get all my GameCube fever out of me by making a video about some of my favorite GameCube games. But before I start counting down, I should let you know two things. 1. I will not be counting any remakes or ports of games, for a couple of reasons. If I did that, every single one of my lists would have the same exact games listed over and over. And 2, my choices for this list would be very, very unpopular. And you'll ask me why the heck my list is the way it is. And to be honest, I'm mentally insane. So if you're just looking for a generic, average list of everyone's favorite GameCube games, go to Watch Mojo. But without further ado, let's count down the top 10 my top 10 favorite GameCube games. Number 10. Mario Kart Double Dash. Now, before I start, I have to mention that I actually don't own this game myself, but my cousin used to own this game, so I'd go over there all the time and play this game with her. So credit for the footage I'm using goes to Japan commercials for you too. Mario Kart Double Dash, of course, has all your essentials of a Mario Kart game, like Mario Kart GP, free racing, and battle mode. But the game also introduces one big new feature that makes this game stand out from all other Mario Kart games in the series, and that's double karts. I love being able to race as two characters at once and be able to switch between characters mid-race. The character in the front drives and the character in the back throws items. In multiplayer mode, you can choose between having one player play as two characters or two players play as two characters and share a kart. This addition can give you a teamwork feel, and it's a way to have fun if you're playing with someone who really isn't all that good at video games. But even if there was no double character feature, this game would still be awesome. There are a lot of courses, characters, and modes to choose from, and since this is a GameCube game, you can use a GameCube controller, which is in my opinion, the most comfortable gaming controller of all time. Mario Kart Double Dash is a must-play if you own a GameCube, especially if you like to play games with friends and family. Not only that, but unlike most Mario Kart games where it's hard to come back and play an older installment, this game is such a unique experience from the rest of the series that you can always come back and play this game and have as much fun as you did when it first came out. But speaking of games with unique features, Number 9. Pikmin. Here's another game that I actually don't own and only ever played it in my cousin's house, so the credit for the footage here goes to Maruku-chan. Pikmin was one of the first GameCube games to come out, and it was made to show off what the GameCube was, a system unlike any other game console that came before and since then. And whether you love or hate the GameCube, you gotta agree with that statement. Pikmin is a real-time strategy game, and your goal is to play as Captain Olimar and use creatures called Pikmin to help find all the parts of Olimar's ship so he can return to his planet before his oxygen supply runs out. The main gimmick of this game is using Pikmin to solve puzzles, retrieve items, and fight enemies. You can have a total of around 100 Pikmin of each species, which there are 3, red, blue, and yellow, which all have an exclusive ability. Red Pikmin are immune to fire, yellow Pikmin who can carry bomb rocks, and blue Pikmin are immune to water. Using the Pikmin is so much fun, it makes you feel like a kindergarten teacher guiding children across the street. Well, that is until your whole squad gets massacred by a bullboard. However, the game does have one downside I should let you know about. This game has a time limit. You have 30 in-game days to retrieve all 30 parts of your ship, or you die and have to start the whole game all over again. So yeah, that sucks. But if you get one part a day and maybe get a video guide just in case, you should be able to beat the game without too much difficulty. Well, that's if you're somewhat decent at video games, not some oversensitive little boy like I was, because I was never able to get anywhere near the end of the game as a kid. I only beat the game once at my cousin's house around like 2 to 3 years ago. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to go over there lately, so I probably won't be able to play this game again until I buy the game myself. But being a broke high school student, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Jeez, that got depressing quickly. So let's try to brighten the mood by playing one of the darkest games on the Gamecube. Genius, I know! Number 8. Metroid Prime. For all my life, it's been hammered into my head that video games with guns were bad, and if I played them, I would get possessed by like the devil or something like that. But now that I'm almost a full-grown man, I've realized something. First-person shooters aren't that bad. I mean, it's just a game. In their minds, if I kill someone in a game, I'll do it in real life eventually. So them seeing me play this game right now would make them lose their minds. Metroid Prime is a first-person shooter with other gameplay elements mixed in like platforming and moving around in the morph ball. This game is one of the most immersive games I've ever played. Various aspects of the game, like the soundtrack, the visuals, and the game's story not being a huge part of the game, and instead letting you explore, all make the game feel like you are in the game, and not just like you're playing as Samus. Like I mentioned before, exploring is a huge part of the game, and it feels so satisfying to explore every nook and cranny to find some energy tank or new power-up. And when you get a new power-up, it gives you more reason to explore to find areas that are blocked off because you needed that new ability to get through, so it's an endless cycle. You can also use your scan ability to read information on enemies or objects in the game, and sometimes just find out some lore of the Chozo. The only real problem I have with this game is that it can be pretty difficult and cryptic at times. Seriously, once you get into Phazon Mines, the game gets ridiculously hard, and you'll start to die over and over again. And the final boss is ridiculously hard. It took me around 20 or so tries to finally beat the final boss. But since I don't want to spoil the game for you, I won't show it. But Metroid Prime is a must-have for any GameCube owner, and it's actually fairly cheap, which is a rarity in GameCube games, so I highly recommend you check it out. Number 7. Animal Crossing. Most games on this list so far have a main storyline to complete, which is the goal of the game. And while Animal Crossing does have a few goals to complete, like expand your house and make money, but for the most part, it's completely up to you what you want to do. You can choose if you want to fish, decorate your house, make friends with villagers, or dig up fossils to donate to the museum. I really like this about the game, and it makes it feel so much more fun to come back to an old save file and see how your old town is doing. Speaking of your town, whenever you start the game, the layout of your town is randomly generated, so your town is never going to be the same twice. Villagers are also different with each save file too, and you start off with 6 random villagers picked randomly from a roster of over 200 villagers. You can also name your town and its character whatever you want. I love that every time you start a new save file, your town will always be a little bit different than any other town you've created so far. The villagers also play a huge part of the game, and you can become their friends by doing various chores for them, like delivering packages to other villagers, selling them your furniture, and getting fruit for them. All of these features help to make your town feel like a living, breathing small country somewhere in rural America. But like a real-life town, if you don't come back for a few months, everything's screwed up. So when it's been over a year since you last played the game, make sure you set your GameCube's eternal clock back a bit before you last played. But even with this minor annoyance, having your town feeling real is still worth it, and that's why it's at number 7. Number 6. Mario Party 4. Okay, this is probably the point where you start to understand what I meant at the beginning of the video, where I said my choices will be unpopular and that I'm mentally insane. And while I think most people would put Mario Party somewhere on their favorite GameCube game list, I don't think most people would ever put it this high. But that doesn't matter because I'm me, and I do whatever I want, so don't spam my comment section with hate mail complaining about how my picks are stupid, okay? Anyway, Mario Party 4 is a great game to play with friends and family. This game is jam-packed full of content. You have party mode, story mode, option mode, minigame mode, bonus mode, 8 characters, 6 boards, over 80 all-new minigames. Not only that, but each board has its own host. There's Toad's Midway Madness, Shy Guy's Jungle Jam, Goomba's Greedy Gala, Boo's Haunted Bash, Koopa's Seaside Soiree, and Bowser's Inferno. The gameplay in this game is like the gameplay of the rest of the Mario Party series. You roll your dice and you move across the board to collect coins to buy stars and play minigames to get coins. Whoever gets the most stars wins. The minigames in this game are also pretty fun, and while they might not be on par with, let's say, Mario Party 2, I still have a lot of fun. On the boards, you can also use items to do things like turn into a giant and roll 2 dice, or shrink to take shortcuts. It's also worth mentioning that this was the game that introduced Mega and Mini Mushrooms, and not New Super Mario Bros. Like most people assume. The story of this game is basically just you playing each board against computer players to try to get presents from the hosts. Mario Party 4 is, in my opinion, the last great game in the Mario Party series. Not that I think other Mario Parties after this game aren't good, I just think that after this game, the Mario Party franchise never hit the same level of quality of the first 4, but that's just my opinion. But next up on the list is one of the most unpopular games in the Mario franchise. Number 5, Super Mario Sunshine. This game is the literal embodiment of summer. I mean, everything in this game is either summer-themed or water-themed. Your goal of the game is to collect shine sprites to bring the sun back to the Delfino Islands. Sorry, I couldn't say that fast. The gameplay of this game is really simple. You just platform like any other Mario game and use your new gadget Flood to squirt everywhere to clean up goo, defeat, or stun enemies and hover around the ground for a few seconds. Wait, now that I think about it, out of context, that's probably sounded really bad and strange. But anyway, you have a few power-ups to enhance your Flood, like the Turbo Nozzle will let you jet forward, and the Rocket Nozzle which lets you jet upward. All but one world in this game is water-based, and that would seem like it would get boring after a while, but the game designers managed to make each world feel different even though they're all water-based. Like how there's a hotel in Serena Beach, or all the amusement park rides in Peanut Park. This game was also the first 3D Mario game to introduce Yoshi, and even though he still eats enemies in this game, he also regurgitates fruit juice at enemies. So yeah, the main hub world in this game, Delfino Plaza, is one of my favorite hub worlds in gaming. I love how there's secret shine sprites to collect, people to talk to, and entrances to secret levels to discover. This game really gives me vibes of going to the pool as a kid. The music also reflects this. This game is just the perfect game to celebrate the summer, or play during the winter when you have cabin fever. Either one is good, but Super Mario Sunshine is one of my favorite Mario games and GameCube games of all time, and that's why it took the number 5 spot. Number 4, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, another GameCube game starring one of Nintendo's flagship franchises that's all about water. I mean, seriously though, what was with the GameCube era Nintendo and water? Did Miyamoto get back from vacation and say, hey guys, let's make all our next games about water? But that's pretty much all I can think about, because there's no way Nintendo made the next installments of their most successful franchises about water at the exact same time for no reason. But that's just me. But let's get back on topic. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. I love almost everything about this game, from the cel-shaded graphics to the sheer amount of seas to navigate and explore. This game makes for a great experience. There's just something about sailing in Wind Waker that just makes me feel both excited and relaxed at the same time. And as much as I like Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker just feels a whole lot more real to me. Well, that's probably because every time I went near the Guardians I got an anxiety attack, but that's a topic for another day. As it says in the title, a big part of the game is an item called the Wind Waker, which is the successor to the Ocarina, and you can use it to play songs to do various things like change the time of day, teleport, or change the direction of the wind, so you can sail easier. But the thing this game mastered the best was its graphics. The graphics in this game are downright beautiful, and it blows my mind that when this game came out, I was only a year old, and now I'm old enough to make a video about it, and the game still looks fantastic. The decision to give this game cel-shaded graphics, although it might not have been so popular at the time, ultimately paid off in the long run, and it has aged ridiculously well. The graphics also help this game to be popular with non-gamers and give them an interest in the Legend of Zelda franchise. I mean, this is the only Zelda game I think my family has ever been remotely interested in. Also, as a fun fact, one of the characters in this game named Mako has a strange resemblance to Professor Egad. But that reminds me. Number 3. Luigi's Mansion. I, along with many other people, love this game. But when this game first came out, it wasn't received very well. But as time has gone on, it has now become one of the best GameCube games in its library. You play as Luigi, and you have a new device called the Portuguese 3000, which you use alongside your flashlight to fight and capture ghosts and return them to their paintings. The atmosphere in this game is stunning. The mansion is vast and has so much detail that it feels like a real breathing mansion. It's pretty much the opposite of Breath of the Wild. That game had vast areas to explore and a huge world that can be barren at times, but it makes up for it with the sheer amount of land to explore. Luigi's Mansion, on the other hand, is a short game with only a handful of areas, but each area is unique, has an important role, and is filled to the brim with detail. Heck, you can even use the Gamecube horror to look around and examine the room even more. Seriously though, the game designers really went out of their way to give us the most realistic mansion as possible, and they didn't have to do that. The gameplay is fantastic and is unlike any other game I have ever played. There's also a lot of treasure to collect, which only gives you a higher ranking at the end of the game, but it feels so rewarding to collect it. It just feels so good to get as many coins, dollars, and diamonds as you can find. Each ghost in the game has their own lore and story behind them. It really makes you ask a lot of questions about the mansion that will probably never be answered. However, this game is a little bit on the short side and will take you around 8 hours of gameplay to beat, but the replay value of Luigi's Mansion is higher than almost any other game I've ever played in my whole life, so I highly recommend you check it out, especially since a port of it just came out on a 3DS lately. But there's still 2 more entries on this list I haven't mentioned yet, so let's move on to number 2. Number 2. Paper Mario The Thousand-Year Door. This game took the original Paper Mario and improved upon everything that made it great. Better and more varied gameplay, your partners have deeper personalities, and the game's story is way better written and is filled with a lot of secrets and lore. Your hub world in the game, Rogueport, is filled to the brim with content, and it feels like a living, breathing port city. Underneath Rogueport is Rogueport Sewers, which is one of my favorite places in gaming history. The gameplay is very varied, and you have elements that were in the original Paper Mario, like your jump, hammer, partners, and star attacks. But this game introduced a whole bunch of new elements, like stylish commands, partners, having health, paper abilities, super guarding, and so much more. The graphics in this game are fantastic and have aged best over any other GameCube game, even Wind Waker. I also really like how dark this game is compared to other Mario games. There's demons, curses, references to deaths, boobs, and so much more mature content. But seriously though, how did the game designers get away with Flurry's boobs? I mean, I know she has no nipples, but still, as a kid I didn't know that and thought that's what boobs really looked like. So yeah, that was awkward. I'm glad my mom never caught me playing this game while I had Flurry out, or I would have gotten it taken away from me. One last thing though. Every single female character in this game has a crush on Mario. I mean, seriously though, Peach, Goombella, Flurry, Vivian, Miss Mouse, those boos at the Pintia parlor, that rich lady on the train, and so many more. I could go on all day. Man, I sure wish I was Mario. It's for these reasons why I love Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door so much. But there's still one game on the Gamecube I love more. Number 1. Super Smash Bros. Melee! Okay, I had such a hard time choosing between this and Thousand Year Door, but I ultimately decided to go with Melee because I like it just a slight bit more. I love every aspect of this game, the graphics, the music, the menus, the characters, the stages, the items, the gameplay, the collectibles, and everything else I didn't mention. Melee's soundtrack is amazing. You have tons of great remixes of classic Nintendo songs, but a bunch of original tracks composed for this game. What isn't there to love about this game? You have 25 characters, 29 stages, classic, adventure, and all-star mode, training mode, event matches, target tests, multi-man melee, versus mode, tournaments, special matches, trophies to collect, and so much more. But the thing that makes Melee so good is the gameplay. The gameplay of Melee is phenomenal. There's a reason why this game keeps showing up at competitions despite being older than me. There's just something about the gameplay that's so much fun. I can play this game anytime and have loads of fun. Melee is by far my favorite GameCube game of all time and will continue to be until the day I die. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I sure did enjoy making it. I haven't had this much fun making a video in such a long time. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button or, dislike button because, I like critical feedback. Check out my other videos as well. I have all attack videos, of like showing off all the attacks in different games like Paper Mario, like Earthbound, And if you have an idea for a video, be sure to put it in the comment section below. What else? Oh yeah, sorry guys for not having a video done in so long. Also sorry about the voiceover in this video. I just wanted to get a video out pretty soon, so the voiceover in this video isn't very good. Anyway, be sure to check out my other videos, and if you don't like my videos, be sure to tell me. Dislike my videos, spam comments why I don't like them, because, I want to get better. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. Type in, what's your favorite GameCube games? Put that in the description below. If you want me to make a video, about, I don't know, top 10 Nintendo 64 games, or, a different topic, be sure to put it down there, too. Anyway, this has been Josh from Alpha Leaf Gaming.